Hello and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Recap Report. I'm your host Kbot, and I'll be taking through all of the Collegiate Rocket League action from the qualifiers in the past 2 weeks. Before we jump into who qualified, we have to talk about what's on the line this semester. Of course, the CRL World Championships are returning, and there are a bunch of tickets to that event on the line this spring. While 2 teams have already secured their spots in the World Championship through CRL Fall, there'll be a total of 6 seats up for grabs through CRL Spring. 2 teams will be awarded based off their top 2 placement in playoffs this season, and a total of 4 teams, 2 from each conference, will be awarded seats based on having the best overall league play record combined between both fall and spring seasons. Let's dive into who qualified, but strap in folks, this'll be a doozy. With 741 unique teams registering for qualifiers this season, there was a heck of a lot of Rocket League that was played in the past 2 weeks. We'll start by covering both qualifiers in the East, and then we'll move on over to cover both qualifiers in the West. In one of these pools, RIT Orange sent Northwood White to the lower bracket after a quick 2-0 sweep. Of course, Northwood fought back though in the lower bracket, sending home Stockton, King University, and Grand Valley State University to secure their CRL spot. In Pool 3 of the first qualifier for the East, we saw the battle for Canada as Université Laval took down Bruton Parker and Kentucky to meet Valleyfield in the grand finals. It was an intense best-of-5 series, but it concluded with a 7-0 exclamation mark blowout by Valleyfield. The Akron Zips Blue collected sweeps across Pool 4 before meeting West Virginia in the grand finals, but they were unable to close it out and secure their spot versus the Mountaineers. Instead, their sister squad, the Akron Zips Gold, took their fair share of wins through both the upper and lower brackets, sending home the likes of USF Gold and Ball State. Both Akron squads met in the lower finals, where Gold took the 3-1 win over the former CRL champions. But the second weekend of qualifiers did not disappoint. Of course, Stockton, Penn State, the Akron Zips Blue, and Ball State all came back with a vengeance this time around, sweeping their brackets and securing their CRL league play spots. Université Laval had some difficulties in their pool, sent to the lower bracket by the Ohio State Lagoons. In the lower bracket, they sent the UCF Knights, the USC Gamecocks, and Oakland Esports all packing. Laval met Ohio State once again in the grand finals and achieved a bracket reset to secure their spot and knock the Buckeyes out. Seton Hall and Western Michigan also secured CRL spots through grand finals resets against their opponents. Here are the 16 teams who'll be moving on to CRL East League play this spring. Over in the West, in the first qualifier, Borregos MTY earned the title of the first team from Mexico to qualify for CRL after beating out Mizzou in their grand finals. In the lower bracket of that pool, several familiar teams fought for the last spot available, but ultimately, UT Dallas came away with it after beating both the Ottawa Braves and Mizzou. The first qualifier also saw many other familiar CRL West Titans secure their spots, including Boise State, SDSU, UT Arlington, Oregon, Cal Poly, and Missouri S&T. Similar to the Eastern Conference though, the second round of Western qualifiers was also full of surprises. Alberta Gold soared through their bracket, picking up wins against the likes of the SFSU Gators and UC Irvine before closing it out versus the Oklahoma Christian Eagles. Cal State Long Beach swept through their CRL bracket to pick up their spot while taking 2 victories against the Texas Longhorns. Playing with 2 substitutes, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas met some resistance before getting sent to the lower bracket by Arizona State, but they bounced back, taking wins against SDSU Black, Nebraska Esports, and eventually took their revenge versus Arizona State in the losers final 3-0. They secured their CRL spot after a grand finals reset against CSUF. Rounding out the Western Conference are UNT, back for their 11th season of CRL, the University of Utah Red, the Ottawa Braves, and Texas Tech. Here are the final 16 teams who will be moving on to CRL West League play this semester. CRL League play officially kicks off on January 30th, and the first stream is Wednesday, February 1st at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to drop a follow here to stay up to date on all things CRL and college esports.